Hi everyone, this is Catherine Gutierrez back with this month's Save Yourself column, and today we're talking about inheritances, but we're not talking about it the way a lot of people like to talk about it, which is what should your asset allocation be in that inheritance account? When should you tell your loved ones that they're going to receive it? What age should they receive it? What restrictions could there be? There are so many people talking about that. I'm not going to touch it today. What we're talking about today is merely a practice where we can help to reframe what an inheritance actually is to the recipients. And I think it's really important. We have got to be communicating with people about how they think about money that's being passed to them. And I'm not saying that this needs to happen necessarily at the end of your kind of working life when you're ready to go tell your son or daughter or grandchild, hey, I plan to gift you this money. I'm talking about much, much earlier. I'm talking about fundamentally starting to talk to loved ones when they're young about the choices to save versus spend. There's a huge misconception out there, I think, that an inheritance builds itself. It's like somehow a person in their working career runs out of imagination for how they could spend or what they might want to spend more money on. And so this money just flutters into some account and it grows on its own, and there's nothing else to do but just to pass it to the next generation. And that is not the case. And I don't think people actively think that. I just think that that is just the feeling that there is. That again, our, parents or grandparents kind of nailed their lifestyle. They couldn't think of any more ways to spend. It's that money just passed down to us. So I think the best way to counter that is to constantly be modeling moments of choice. Moments where, we're mowing our own lawn. Sure, I look happy doing it, but really part of that happiness is because I'm making a choice to save rather than spend. And hey, I can find ways to make myself happy in this choice, but it is a choice. And sure, there might be better ways that I might choose to spend my Saturday morning, but at this moment with my finances where they are, it's more happiness generating for me to know that I'm saving that money rather than spending it on a lawn service. Now, eventually you might get to the point where you have more than enough money, where you can save plenty and have a lawn service. And it really is something you can easily afford to do, but there might be that next item, that next service that's like, well, in this case, I am making an incremental choice. So in the column, I make the point of, getting to the point where you can now take vacations and choosing to drive rather than fly to save some money. We are constantly, as we move up the wealth ladder, as we move up the income ladder, we are constantly making choices where we're drawing a line on the luxuries that we are willing to spend on so that we can make sure that we are constantly saving enough for the future. And if we bring our loved ones into these conversations, we are modeling this savings behavior from these choices. So then when our loved ones are one day revealed that there is this potential inheritance, or the inheritance is there, however the process is, they don't think that this is just some magical pile of money, that this was a pile of money that reflected potentially decades of small and big choices to save rather than spend, to forego that incremental luxury in favor of putting a little bit more into that savings account. So folks, start the conversation. Start it with your young ones. You can start this conversation with a 4-year-old. You can start the conversation with, here's what we chose. We're not gonna go to this restaurant tonight. We're gonna save a little bit of money and we're gonna cook. We can constantly be adding in these little tiny moments where we're educating the choice to save versus spend. So folks, hope it's a little food for thought. I hope that if you are on the path to inheritance or to leaving an inheritance, that you will consider these conversations that I think are so important. So I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. And as always, I wish you happy saving.